Hi everybody, Mike from AI Technology and Design, back with another day of technology. Today we're going to be talking about products from a company called HUE that we use in my house to change the color and temperature of the lighting in our room, and by doing so, changing the mood and energy in our room as well. HUE products are really neat. They're very easy to use right out of the box, but there are some things you're going to need to ensure you have in your home before you start using them. The first and most important is high quality Wi-Fi. HUE products use the internet to work with each other and to communicate, so without internet, your product's not going to work properly. The second thing is you're going to need something called the HUE Bridge, and the HUE Bridge is just a device that hooks up to your router so that your light bulbs and your lighting can talk to the internet, and of course you need their app to control it all and set it all up. But once you have those three things, you're literally off to the races. You just screw in the light bulbs or plug in the light bulbs or install them as you need to, and that's it. You're automating the lighting in your house really, really easily. No, I don't know where this rumor keeps coming from. Here's what I know. HUE is a very, very strong company. They have one of the best-selling ecosystems in the entire consumer electronics space, and they keep adding new products. So no, they're not being discontinued. If anything, they are growing at a very fast and rapid pace. It's kind of hard to figure out what the right bulbs are going to be for your space because every space is different, but I can give you some considerations to think about when you're planning out your home with HUE. The biggest one I find is what color you need from your bulbs. What I mean is this. Some of the bulbs are a white spectrum light, and some of them are a white spectrum light that can also do colored lights as well. So if it's a room where you just need white light, obviously that dictates that option. But if it's a room where you'd benefit from having color, or you think it'd be kind of neat to have some color, then you definitely want to go with the colored bulbs, which granted are a little bit more expensive, but they give you a lot more flexibility and a lot more options. The next is the type of bulb. So there's a traditional screw-in bulb, but there's also bulbs for chandeliers. There's bulbs that replace halogen lights. So you really have to figure out what type of solution you need based on the type of bulb that's in there. You can't just look at a light and assume they're all the same, because they're most certainly not. There are also LED light strips. Maybe you don't need a bulb at all. Maybe you just need something to add a little bit of light or ambience to the room, and the LED light strip is a great way to do this. There are also lamps. They're simple plug-and-play lamps that have the benefit of being a really attractive piece of furniture or a really nice-looking thing in your room, but they also have that Philips ecosystem built right into them. And of course, there are exterior lights as well. And especially as we get into the holiday time of year, having colored exterior lights is really kind of fun and really kind of neat. So lots of different options out there. And the best way to figure out the right bulb for you is figure out what you're replacing first and then go from there. Starter kits are one of the fastest, easiest, and most cost-effective ways to get into any ecosystem. Generally, they have everything you need to get started, and they're priced to help you get started as well. So there are a lot of different starter kits from HUE, and again, these are based on how many light bulbs you want, what type of light bulbs you want, but they all come with one thing in common. That is, of course, the HUE Bridge is what you need to get started. Once you've got that and a few light bulbs, you can build out from there, but a starter kit's a really easy way to get going, and it's a very simple way to add a little bit of light to your life without having a lot of cost associated with it as well. One of the things I really like about the ecosystem with HUE is there are so many different flexible options that'll fit in almost any home. Their light bulb selection is going to work with almost any modern home. Now look, there are some esoteric light bulbs out there that they may not have, and that's okay. But for most people, 95.67% of what they need is going to be right there real easily. Now, when it comes down to it, their core business, what they made their name with, was the bulb. So I'm going to talk about them first. And what I like about the bulbs, as I mentioned earlier, is they can be a simple white version or they can be a white and colored version. And what I especially like is that you have a huge amount of flexibility over things like color temperature as well. So if we were to sit down with some of my designer friends, they would tell you one of the biggest frustration points they have is that people will put the wrong color light bulbs in a space. So sometimes you want a warm light and they put a cool light, or vice versa. So there's different spectrums of white. And what I really enjoy with HUE is you can really dial in the different spectrums based on what you're doing and also what your comfort level is. And thirdly, what best enhances the space in the room. So if you're a designer who has been frustrated by trying to find the right color white light bulb, boy, that's a mouthful, try saying that 3 times, and you've been struggling, these might provide an easy solution where you don't have to climb up a ladder and change 50 different light bulbs. You just have to sit with your app and figure out what you want. Now, beyond the light bulbs, there are, of course, the LED strips. They look really cool. LED strips put and hidden away add a lot of ambient lighting to a room. And like everything else in the ecosystem, they can be created as part of a combination or a scene of different things or on their own. So you have full color spectrum control, full lighting control, even timers. So it's really, really neat how they can all work together. There are also lamps. Now, lamps you wouldn't really think about. Hey, I already have lamps. I want to put a bulb in that lamp. But if you don't already have a lamp, their built-in lamps with the HUE technology built in are phenomenal. They're really, really low profile, so they fit into any modern space. They shoot a ton of light. And of course, they work in conjunction with the rest of the HUE ecosystem quite automatically as well. Briefly talk about exterior lighting as well, because that's one of the least talked about parts of our home when it comes to lighting, and it's one of the most important parts of our home when it comes to lighting. I want to talk to you about the front yard and the backyard because we have different considerations for both. With the front yard, most of our consideration is deterrence and being seen. And what I mean by that is a well-lit house is a hard target for someone who has bad intent. So having lots of lights outside and having the exterior of our house brightly lit makes it a harder target for someone who might want to break in or do something they're not supposed to do. But the other part of it, and this is equally important, is it makes your house look really nice outside as well. So if you have a nice house you want to show off, you should show it off with adequate lighting. And with all the different options they have, it makes it easy to add lighting all over your yard and all over your home. Now, the other part of the front yard has to do with the holiday time of year. And what we like to do is, I'm at a point where I don't want to climb up on ladders and put lights up every year and then later climb up a ladder and take them down again. So what we'll put is HUE lights in our pot lights and our outside lights. I have 10 exterior lights in the front of my house. We'll put them in there and then we'll change the color and the combination of colors. So we get to decorate our house really easy using our app. If our mind changes in a day, we can change the exterior house to suit what we're into at that time. So it's really nice for that as well. Very easy to decorate. Now, the back of our house is a little bit different. That's where we entertain and that's where we go to relax, especially in the 6 months a year that we can do so. Not so much during winter times when we have our color lights out front for the holidays, but definitely in the spring, fall, and summer months, we love being outside. And I replaced the 4 lights on my back deck with HUE light bulbs. Here's what I like about it. The first thing is before we had a choice on or off. That was it. There wasn't even a dimming option there. So we either had really, really bright lights that we could do surgery by, or we had absolute darkness and we were fumbling around like idiots. So by having these lights, I have a couple really neat advantages. The first is that I can dim them. They're on. They're just not as bright. So they're more like ambient lighting, and it really enhances what we're doing in the backyard, which is not surgery most of the time. And the other part that I like is we have the colored options as well. So if we're sitting around the fire at night, I might put some mellow purple lights on and put some relaxing music on, and it just creates an atmosphere. But if we're hosting and having a bunch of people over, we might change it and have it a little bit brighter so people can see what they're doing. Or if I'm working the barbecue and I need really bright light, I can change the white light spectrum to give me the right lighting for the activity I have, which is barbecuing. So lots of different options for the exterior, and of course lots of different fixtures, floodlights. So a really complete ecosystem to round out the outside of your house. And I'm sorry to take you down this little rabbit hole, but it's important that we took a few minutes to talk about exterior lighting because we don't do that enough. So now you know HUE can take care of a lot of the problems you may have had outside with lighting. They can enhance your holidays and they can keep your house safe. I don't think you could ask for anything more than that.